Here's the thing. For everybody listening, don't make the same mistake the Bengals just did in any facet of your life.
People are going to get hurt. It's the hockey season. And if they want to make the deep run to the playoffs, they're going to need players. And Ben Hutton's a good defenseman that can help.
I don't think they will. If they don't have Anthony Davis, I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
I was very tempted to just put defense.
What about the Jared Cook play on the sideline? And then Mason Crosby's 55-yard field goal or something like that. That was a good one.
Come on, Austin and I've been saying this ever since Joe Burrow got injured.
I just do not see Harden putting in the same amount of effort into each game. And I honestly believe that's why he hasn't won a championship yet.
That's a perfect name. What you said, name brand players. Like, it's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I swear we didn't script that.
Fultz is injured, and he really hasn't lived up to the potential of being the number one overall pick when he was selected by the Sixers.
Like you said, Ovechkin, he's getting older. He hasn't been playing as well as I imagined. He's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, but he hasn't started off this season as hot as I would hope.
How is Joe Burrow going to get the ball to them if his butt is already on the ground and he finally decides who to throw to?
I don't really think the Dodgers are going to make the World Series this year. I feel like they'll make it to the NLCS.
And then I want to talk about the Fernando Tatis extension, because that really surprised me. Because he's so young. You see the Chiefs beefing up their O-line, and then you have the Buccaneers beefing up their defensive line.
Ingrained in the life of Tom Brady and what winning actually looks like, I think will be a very good move for Bruce Arians and this Bucs organization.
Hi, I'm Jeff Allen, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week for November 7th. We are entering our third month now of Opinions of the Week. Let us know what you have thought so far. Austin, both our teams lost. Packers actually have an excuse. Cowboys do not have an excuse. Neither do the Bills, in my opinion. Rams sort of do. Saints, they're just inconsistent, and I think that can be shown. So we're gonna save the Packers for their own thing. But we're going to talk about Bills, Saints, Cowboys, Rams. What happened? Let's start with Cowboys and Bills. For me, they just forgot how to play. Jaguars, both teams that they played against, both teams overlooked. Cowboys overlooked the Broncos, and they could not control the line of scrimmage. They were dominated by an offensive line that was 3 backup O-linemen by the Broncos. And they just outplayed the Cowboys defense that did not know how to tackle. And then there was rust from Dak. And apparently someone told me that he hadn't played for those 2 weeks. And in my point of view, then why not start Cooper Rush again? And just give him another week off and let him practice. But
I saw that under an Instagram post. Like, if you're going to make excuses about Dak being rusty, then why didn't they just play Cooper Rush? He just won a game versus the Vikings. I mean, there is not an excuse. I don't even think there's an excuse for the Packers because I don't believe in giving excuses. But there is a better reason for why the Packers lost than there was the Cowboys. The Cowboys just overlooked their opponent.
Yeah, or the Bills.
Yeah,
the Bills
same.
Lost to the Jags.
I think those losses are they're close to the same thing because the Jaguars played very, very well. Like, their defense was elite.
Josh Allen played well.
Both
different Josh Allen.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, both played in the game. But the Jaguars didn't allow many points. The Bills' defense played fine. Their defense came to play. They allowed 9 points. But the Bills' offense couldn't get it going.
Yeah. So
the Cowboys, it was more of a team effort, just not playing well.
Everything was bad. There were bad catches. Dak on 4th and 1 decided to throw the ball and missed Lamb.
He was forcing it a lot.
Yeah. It was very frustrating to watch that game. But I think Cowboys will be fine. You can have a bad game. So Packers had a bad game. And that was first week of the season.
That was more than a bad game.
So Saints, though, it just shows they're inconsistent. You dominate one week, like dominate the Packers, then you lose to. Didn't they lose to the Panthers second
Panthers.
week?
Yep.
So
And
they
they just
win
beat
a
the
great
Bucks.
game. They beat the Bucks, and then they lose to the Falcons. So, do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, 100%. I saw a lot of memes talking about how the Falcons almost blew it because the Falcons got outscored 22-10 in the fourth. I could only imagine if somehow the Saints came back, all the memes that would have occurred. But the Falcons held on, and all credit to them. They're 4-4, and right now, if the playoffs started, they'd be playing the Packers in the first game.
Now the Rams. I think Titans. They're number one in the AFC right now.
They got off, but the offense for the Rams was terrible. Besides Cooper.
And I think that's because of the pass rush from the Titans. That pass rush was very good. And, oh my gosh, what was his name? I think it was Simmons. That they had some stunts, as Chris Collinsworth was talking about. And I think that really that really got in the way of Stafford, and that never let Stafford get into rhythm. And then the offense did well without Derrick Henry. So I think it goes to show Titans are still a dangerous team, even without Derrick Henry. As Mike Vrabel is a very I don't think it was X's and O's that gave the Titans the win over the Rams. It was just they punched them in the mouth and bit their kneecaps off, if I want to steal something from Dan Campbell. But Mike Vrabel just wills his teams, no matter the circumstances, to win. Now, they do lose to some very bad teams, like the Jets. And didn't they lose? They lost to the Jets. They beat the Seahawks. Who's their other loss to? Isn't it to the Bengals? No, it's to the Cardinals.
Yes, week
Cardinals
one when
beat
they got destroyed. But the reason why I put the Rams here is I feel like the Rams overlooked the Titans because they didn't have Derrick Henry. I feel like
That's very true.
all of these teams. The reason why I put all four here is because I believe all four overlooked their opponent. And while I think the Rams did it in a lesser degree and they turned it on towards the end, I think they're like the Titans' offense is so bad without Derrick Henry. We don't have to try that hard. We're one of the best offenses in the league, and then they get destroyed.
And this was out without Von Miller, so if Von Miller plays, maybe there's a difference. There probably is a difference.
But
You
not
disagree?
enough for them to win the game. They won 28-16. I don't think Von Miller was a 12-point difference.
Maybe. I think combination of Von Miller and Aaron Donald.
And they played the first game together. It takes a little bit for you to get perfectly meshed together, in my opinion.
That's true.
I don't think it would have changed the result, even though it probably would have made it closer.
So now, teams that lost, teams that won: Broncos, Chiefs, Browns. Browns beat down the it was Bengals, right? Or Bengals. So Broncos, to me, it was just they played hard, but are they in the hunt? No. Browns, yes. Chiefs, yes. So
The Chiefs just looked terrible. They could barely beat a Packers team with a defense that had Kenny Clark out for the entire second half, Zadarius Smith out, Jair Alexander, our second corner, I forgot his name because I'm dumb, and then our entire offense, David Bakhtiari was out, and Aaron Rodgers was out. The fact that they barely beat that team, I would say they're not in the hunt. They have to prove something to me, and that was not a prove it win.
it was a win, and a win that they need wins. The thing that puts it over the top is that final play to clinch the game.
Yeah, but you're never going to
Mahomes being Mahomes, finding Tyreek Hill, and I think that is going to launch them.
I disagree. You should never have that play in the first place. Never should have had the play. The play should never have happened because
they should have ran the ball.
Well, no, my point is Patrick Mahomes shouldn't have even been on the field. The game should have been over. The game should have been 24-7 with the backup playing at the end. I mean, I watched that game like, oh, the Chiefs are going to turn it on. Oh, the Chiefs are going to turn it on. Every time we punted it, I was like, the Chiefs are going to turn it on. The Chiefs are going to turn it on, and they just never did. They never did the entire game. They never turned it on. And I love Jordan Love's resiliency. I'm excited for his future. It's hard for rookie quarterbacks in this league. We've seen very few. I know he's technically not a rookie, but he is. And I know you guys played the Vikings,
Well,
not the
no.
Chiefs.
You're talking about rookie quarterbacks. And
Yeah,
there's one rookie quarterback that pops into mind that led his team to a 13-3 record.
I'm
Yes.
talking about this year.
Well, yes, but if we're talking just in the past, rookie quarterbacks that have done incredibly well.
I
Dak
wouldn't say
Prescott.
that Dak got carried by his own line, but I think Dak got carried by his own line.
I don't know. Dak, well, I'll go another one. Tom Brady, rookie year, sort of.
Well, that was more of a Jordan Love-esque rookie year. It was his second year in the season, or second year in the league. And most people say he got carried by his defense because he had one of the greatest defenses in the league.
Let me see if I can name another one. I'm trying to think. There's another rookie quarterback that's done well. Herbert. His team didn't do, but he did well.
He also had Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Hunter Henry, Mike Williams. That's a lot of good players.
Packers do have, in your opinion, the best wide receiver in the league. He's probably second best, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's hard when the entire defense is keying on him, and we have MVS coming back from injury, and Allen Lazard coming back from COVID. And again, I don't believe in excuses, but the win for the Chiefs was very, very, very awe-inspiring. I was not impressed at
And
all.
then Browns, Bengals were just inconsistent. We'll go back to the Chiefs, but I want to go to the Browns. Their run, Nick Chubb is out for this season, or for the
No.
game, not
Yeah.
the season, for the game.
Well,
Or
next
unless he
week
gets 2 negative tests.
he'll. There's a very low chance because we're almost there, and I haven't heard it. He'd have to get one today and 24 hours from today, but I think he'll probably be out for this game. He may not, but he was a big part of the Bengals win.
That run game is what sets up the Browns offense. It allows them to get going in the passing game. The run sets everything up. And Baker's still injured, so I think the run sets everything up because of that O-line, and their defense is good. Defensive line, and their defense is better than what it was last year. So they could make a possible thing. They could make a possible run because of that 7 seed now. But I think Chiefs are going to turn it on because of that less play. And I see, this is transitioning. I see OBJ going to the Chiefs. And I think it's the best scenario for both parties.
You think
If
it's the best
OBJ
scenario
goes
for
to the
OBJ?
Chiefs- Huh?
You think it's the best scenario for OBJ?
Yes, because I think he will be happy in that Chiefs offense.
Will
because
he? He won't get the ball that much because of Tyreek and Travis.
I think he will become the number 1 wide receiver if he's added.
Over Tyreek and
Yes.
over Travis.
I think it will add another dynamic, and we'll see big plays from OBJ. And I think
But we already they already know the defense to put on the Chiefs, and I don't think that changes with OBJ.
OBJ eliminates that. He
How?
eliminates
The over the top defense has been working for so long?
No, so the thing is, the wide receivers are the problem, in my opinion, for the Chiefs. And Mahomes in a funk. Mahomes just in a funk, and I think he's breaking out of it because of that last play. And I think adding OBJ he can get runs after the catch, but I think Tyreek, if you can have someone under the middle that's established like OBJ, I think that will help the offense. And then it can open up more with Kelsey and then Hill going deep, because there's just not another wide receiver. I know Kelsey's a big threat, but they take away Hill and then you have Kelsey. But now with OBJ, I think it's a bottle that they can't stop. So I think adding OBJ into the Aaron Rodgers stuff will really upset the Packers and take them away from where I think they're going, which is probably deep in the playoffs. Depending on how long Aaron Rodgers is out, he'll probably be playing Sunday, maybe we see Jordan Love, but based off his performance from the Chiefs game, I don't think we see him play a second game. What are your thoughts on this?
I would be fine to see him again, even though it's against the Seahawks and they may be formidable now that Russell Wilson is returning. They're still 3-5, and I would love to see Jordan Love go back at it again. I love his fight. I'm happy for the future. I think he's going to be a quality QB in this league. We may disagree on that, but I think he is going to be good. And I don't know necessarily if OBJ would necessarily become a locker room cancer for the Packers, considering the fact that the team is good and he wouldn't be a wide receiver one, but will still get a lot of targets, considering the fact that Devontae Adams is going to be covered quite often. Uh, I think he'd be happy in Green Bay. Now, I don't necessarily know if he goes there, but between the three teams he's considering, New Orleans, Green Bay, Kansas City, crazy there. Green Bay, two words. Kansas City, 2 words. New Orleans, 2 words. Kind of weird, but and he came from New York, so before Cleveland, obviously, which isn't 2 words, but still. And he went to college in Baton Rouge. It's weird. I don't know. He likes cities with 2 names.
That's a little coincidence.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he definitely wouldn't be happy in New Orleans. Like, I think New Orleans would be terrible.
Because Michael Thomas is out for the season, and he would have to be a wide receiver 1 for a team that doesn't really have a good wide receiver 2. So I don't like that fit. Chiefs, I still don't like that fit because I don't feel like he would get enough targets to be happy with the team, and I feel like the Packers is the perfect middle, but we'll find out how much he wants to be paid, and that'll definitely determine how many teams are interested.
I think Andy Reid could handle Odell being unhappy or not satisfied with his targets. So I think Andy Reid could handle that. I'm not sure if Matt LaFleur could handle that. Based on what you're talking about with the Packers, would you want OBJ?
I wouldn't be against it. I'm not for it, but I'm not against it.
Okay.
We've had a lot of injuries, and I think injuries will continue. So I wouldn't be against having anyone that can help us because our season is injury filled. So as much security we can have, I'd be for it. But I'm not the biggest fan of Odell. I think he's a little bit overrated, but I would be fine with the addition as long as it's at a reasonable price.
Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised those are his 3 landing spots. I would have considered Baltimore. Like, I think Baltimore would have been.
I expected Baltimore to be there, but maybe Baltimore doesn't want to pay the money that he would be worth.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm curious he also didn't get claimed on waivers. I know $7 million, but if you claim him and then he leaves in free agency, you get a conditional pick. So maybe like a team like the Lions or the Jaguars. Like if you claimed him and then he leaves, you get a pick and you can never have too many picks. So
Yeah, but I feel like Odell would have been very, very angry if a team like that picked him up. I'm surprised a team like the Falcons or Broncos or a team that is like on the cusp didn't try to pick him up on waivers because they could afford it. Because especially like the Broncos after trading away Von Miller could afford it. But and they're not so far out that I think Odell would be infuriated. But also, like you said, if they leave, they get an extra pick, and if they try to rebuild, that's what they could use. But the Odell saga is definitely going to be interesting. I just saw Adam Schefter saying they could come as soon as tomorrow, a decision by him. So I guess next week we'll report on where he goes, but it's definitely going to affect the league if he can come back to his prime form.
yeah, I also thought Patriots would have been a good spot, but I don't know why he's not considering them because they need a wide receiver 1 and they're starting to pass the ball more. So I'm just hearing Green Bay, Chiefs, and New Orleans. New Orleans is probably the most surprising. Green Bay, I don't think makes sense because why would you want him in Green Bay if you're a Green Bay Packer fan? So, but then Chiefs makes sense because it's the Chiefs and they need whatever they can get to help them. So, just very surprising 3 teams, and we'll see. Because I do agree he's overrated, but I think he is still good. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on him. We'll see. I think he signs with the Chiefs. Do you think he signs with the Chiefs out of the 3?
I don't.
Or is there a 4th team that he's lying about?
I don't think he necessarily lied about it, but he just didn't mention it. And maybe they give him a higher offer, and he's like, maybe. I think a team like that could be the Panthers. looking to try to help out Sam Darnold. He's not going to be here the next 2 weeks, but they could pick up somebody and try to make a little bit of a run, especially with Christian McCaffrey coming back. But I don't know. If I had to guess now, I would probably say Chiefs, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised by any of the other teams that have cap space in there and trying to make a push.
Okay, gotcha. So that concludes our NFL opinions of the week. As we talked about Chiefs and Green Bay with all the injuries and Jordan Love. I kind of want to see him have a second game because I would like to see more from him, but I think that game gives Aaron Rodgers more ammo to force the Packers into doing what Aaron Rodgers wants. Because I know he's on a 1-year deal. He's technically on a 1-year deal this year. So would you ultimately give the reins next season, or do you pay a lot of money to bring Aaron Rodgers back for one more year because you want to give one more year to Jordan Love, which would then bring into the first round pick of Jordan Love? Why spend a first round pick, which in my opinion are very, you also had to trade up for that first round pick. If you drafted them in the second round, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it. Then trading up into the first round to get a quarterback. And then that quarterback not planning to see the field for till his third year or fourth year. He was forced into the field this time because of COVID. So I'm curious to hear what your thoughts. Like, I know, and there of course have been bad starts by rookie QBs and they turn out well, but just didn't give me. It just gave more ammo to Rodgers, in my opinion, to basically force the Packers to do what he wants because they understand he's the best option for them right now and for next season. What do you think?
Yeah, I disagree. I was very inspired by his performance. I know he didn't perform exceptional, but he did outperform Patrick Mahomes, like I said earlier, rating wise, and I'm excited for the future. I do agree with you. Bringing back Aaron Rodgers, I think, is what I would do for next season. But that was my plan initially. That was when his contract ended initially, and then we bring in Jordan Love. Um, I think he's the quarterback for the future, and while uh, I love Aaron Rodgers and everything he's done for this organization, he's gotten a lot of backlash lately and hasn't performed like he did last year, even though he's still one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. So it just depends on where the Packers think about going forward. I like Jordan Love. I think he will uh, be a good quarterback in the future, but I understand your point. He didn't play exceptional, but he didn't cower down in the fourth quarter like I told you before the episode started. He made a good pass and scored a touchdown, and if the defense would have stepped up, who knows? Maybe he would have won the game.
He did look much better in the fourth. Like, he settled down. I was surprised because you saw him running, and I think running would have helped him. Especially with college, a quarterback is a runner. So maybe getting him into the field. I just wasn't impressed with if Matt LaFleur, I know he's your coach of the year candidate. If Matt LaFleur went into Kansas City and won that, if the Packers beat the Chiefs with Jordan Love starting at quarterback, I think he probably would have moved up and become my coach of the year candidate.
What
If
if
he had
Jordan Love starts this week and they beat the Seahawks with Russell Wilson
that adds to it. He
after
maybe.
almost beating the Chiefs? It wasn't a blowout. The Chiefs didn't destroy them.
Well, yeah, but it was just a bad game, in my opinion.
But
Nothing was
that's just a
really
lot of
good.
the negatives on the Chiefs though, because the Chiefs had almost everybody healthy, and when you
Well,
consider
yeah, but the Chiefs haven't been looking good
that's
at
true,
all
but the
until
Chiefs are.
that final drive. That final pass looked like, okay, maybe the Chiefs have finally flipped the switch because
But
that
one
looked
play
like
can't decide
Mahomes.
everything. It can't.
I think one key drive, sealing that drive, choosing to pass it, which is a Chiefs thing, always passing and not always running it. I know they should have won it more decisively given what the Packers were dealing with, but sometimes you have to get a gritty win. So it's something, and just the run. So maybe if they do beat the Seahawks, but I think if Jordan Love starts against the Seahawks, I think the Seahawks win that game because I think Pete Carroll will attack Jordan Love with blitzes. And given your offensive line injuries, will he be able to have enough time in the pocket or get out of the pocket and make plays? So, and they'll have Russell Wilson back. So that would help his Coach of the Year candidacy. But we'll see. What do you have to say?
News from 29 minutes ago on USA Today on MSN. The Packers have activated David Bakhtiari off the physically unable to perform list.
Oh wow, that will help.
Will, definitely. I think he's the best left tackle in the league, in my opinion. It's close, but he's my best tackle in the game. It's arguable, but when healthy, I wouldn't take anyone over him.
He's definitely up there. But if we're gonna add when healthy, I'll probably stay with Tyron Smith.
We're both going to be a little bit biased here, but I disagree.
Well, yeah, but when healthy, Tyron Smith is just incredible. So, but he's dealt with injuries issues the past few years. So, well, that concludes our NFL opinions of the episode. Opinions of the week. Let us know what you thought of our episode in the comments, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.